You walk through your front door, and the moment it clicks shut, your shoulders drop like you've been carrying a backpack all day. Nothing bad happened. No one attacked you. You were just around people. And somehow that was enough to make your body feel like it survived something. If that's you, here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not weak, and you're not antisocial. Your brain is running a different operating system. And the reason you crave being alone isn't laziness or sadness. It's a set of rare traits that loud social worlds don't know how to measure. But wait. It gets deeper. Because the same wiring that makes a crowded room feel exhausting can also make you sharper, more creative, and more emotionally accurate than the people who never stop talking. Let's start with what your brain is doing when you're just hanging out. For most people, a conversation is like background music. They hear it, they nod, they move on. For you, it's like subtitles plus commentary. You're tracking the pauses, the micro-smile that doesn't reach the eyes, the tone shift when someone says, "I'm fine." And here's what nobody tells you. That kind of awareness costs energy. Psychology often describes this as heightened sensitivity to social signals. You don't just listen to words. You absorb the emotional weather in the room. So when you leave a gathering and feel drained, it's not because you're bad at socializing, it's because you were socializing at a higher resolution. That's trait 1, high social signal processing. You know that moment when you walk into a room and before anyone speaks, you already know who's tense? That's not overthinking. That's your nervous system reading the room like it's information. Now trait 2 is the one that surprises people. You have a high baseline of inner stimulation, meaning your mind doesn't start empty. It starts busy. Even in silence, you're thinking. Connecting ideas, imagining outcomes, remembering details you didn't even try to store. So when the world adds noise music, crowds, small talk, it doesn't fill you up. It overwhelms you. That's why being alone feels like relief. It's not loneliness. It's bandwidth recovery. Here's the weird part. People assume you're avoiding them, but a lot of the time you're just trying to get back to neutral. Now, trait 3 is your secret weapon. Your mind makes better connections in quiet. Have you ever been alone, walking, showering, staring out a window, and suddenly everything clicks? A problem you couldn't solve all day gets solved in 2 minutes. A memory connects to a new idea. You see a pattern that was invisible when the world was loud. That's not random. When you're alone, your brain has space to do deep processing, linking experiences, exploring meaning, building insight. Researchers sometimes call this default mode thinking, the part of your mind that stitches your life into a story. The loud world rewards quick reactions, but your brain is built for depth. And depth can look like doing nothing to people who only feel alive when there's noise. Trait 4 is about your standards. You don't collect people. You curate them. You can sit at a table where everyone is talking and still feel lonely because nobody is saying anything real. So your brain runs a cost calculation. How much energy will this take? Is this connection honest or performative? And when the answer is performative, your system shuts down. That doesn't make you cold. It makes you selective. You'd rather have one conversation that actually matters than 10 conversations that are just social cardio. Now breathe, because trait 5 is the fork in the road. Some people choose solitude because it restores them. Other people choose it because it protects them. From the outside, those two look identical. So ask yourself this, gently. When you're alone, do you feel free? Or do you feel safe? If solitude feels like freedom, you're probably wired for recovery and meaning. But if it feels like hiding, like you're avoiding connection because rejection would hurt too much. That's not just your personality. That's your nervous system trying to stay out of danger. And listen, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means your brain learned that people can be unpredictable, so it built distance as armor, which honestly was a smart survival strategy at the time. But here's the upgrade. You don't need to become more social. You need to become more intentional. Keep your solitude. Protect it. Schedule it like it's medicine. But also choose 1 or 2 humans who feel like emotional clean air. People whose words match their behavior. People who don't punish honesty. People who don't make connection feel like a performance review. Because your traits, your sensitivity, your depth, your standards aren't a defect. They're a design. The world will keep rewarding the loudest person in the room. It will keep calling quiet awkward. But you know something most people don't. You know what your mind sounds like when nobody else is talking. And that's not emptiness. That's power. If this felt like a sigh of relief, subscribe so we can keep figuring your brain out together. And tell me in the comments, when do you feel most recharged? After people or after silence? Next video, we're going even deeper. Because if you prefer being alone, there's a good chance you also detach fast when someone disrespects you. And that's not a grudge. It's a nervous system reflex.